strengthened by fury, hardened by heat. Search deeper now. What do you see? Look within yourself. What do you see?
Welcome back to your OPL Saturday for this round 10. And if you're just joining us, Chiefs currently up 1-0 over Tainted Minds in our first match of the day. And it was a less than 18-minute game. So oh boy, it was a quicken. It was a real quicken. Joining me here at the desk, we have T-Gun and also Mendrix. And is there any way Tainted Minds can get back into this series, T-Gun?
Hopefully they just have a little bit of short-term amnesia and forget that even happened and think that they're back into the first game. that's the only way you come back to this mentally prepared.
What you do, right? You go, right, delete, just, what's the Men in Black? You Men in Black yourself and like, beam. Yeah.
Just okay, everything's good to go again, first game. And really, it does come down to, the teams need to sort of perform a little bit better in that laning phase. I mean, there was a bit of disrespect to the Lulu damage that happened. T-Gun, you were telling me about this, that she can actually pop off quite a fair bit in that early game.
She's not just a shield.
She does just about as much damage as Sona, if not a bit more, when she takes Thunder Lords, which I think EGM did. I didn't manage to catch the masteries, because people just underestimate it. They just think, oh, it's a passive support, it's like Nami, when in reality, if you want to be aggressive on it, you can be. And EGM showed that if you want to be aggressive, you just go in and you just end up killing them because they don't respect you.
So do you think going into this, speaking of the Sona pick, maybe the Lucian top, do you think Tainted Minds are going to stick with these comfort picks? Because they didn't really work out in that first game. But also, do you think Chiefs are going to try and ban them out to tilt them? Or are they going to like, you know what, you picked your comfort picks and we killed you in 18 minutes. So
I don't think Chiefs changed their game plan. They banned a couple things.
They banned Shen, right?
They banned Shen, which is the thing. They banned Zyra. Keep in mind, we banned Zyra last week because tilting has 2 rune pages. One of them says Zyra, and one of them says everything else. So it's a pretty reasonable ban. They showed a bit of respect with the bans. I don't think they're going to go ahead and ban things like Lucian because they played at top. Because why would you? It was bad. Yeah. It was really bad.
And it doesn't just come down to champion picks as well. We like to see these guys show up a little bit in lane. I mean, Wizard, he was actually the only person that seemed to be a bit of a shining light for Tainted Minds. Actually was a little bit competitive, even tried to get that solo kill onto Swiffer and almost succeeded in the end. Swiffer did manage to get him knocked down that point.
Yeah, and those were the risks I was trying to say were the ones you take, is the ones where I guarantee if his team's ahead, he's not taking these risky 1v1s, but he needs to do it because they're in such a bad spot where the only way they get back in is if he starts solo killing Swiffer again and again and again, and eventually he has 8 kills, and
Wizard
maybe
carried.
something happens.
Well, I guess, and I don't want to harp on this for too long, but I'm saying is the further you fall behind, the bigger risks you need to take to get back in the game, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like the risk you take when you're like 3,000 gold down is very different to the risks you take when you're like 15k gold down and you try and like sneak a Baron. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a different kettle of fish because we are in
Kettle
in
of
different-
fish.
Yeah. What?
I would
That's a
never
saying.
put.
It's a
I would
legitimate
never
saying.
put fish in a kettle.
Well, I don't eat fish because I am a vegan, but I will boil them regularly in a kettle because I'm a sadist. That's not true. That's a joke, obviously. Don't get upset. My goodness. All right, let's get back to the game. So, Chiefs, though, I want to know from you, Mendrix, are they, in terms of outside of their picks, are they going to just continue to play their game? Because I feel like they weren't bullied at all.
Yeah, you're right. They are just going to play their game. I mean, why would you change anything after that performance? It was just clinical from what they did there. It was a good old shellacking, as everyone likes to call.
I actually know which game was the shortest before this one, which was when I played against Hellions back when Hellions were in the OPL, and we put them into the dirt in under 20 minutes. And I'm pretty sure Chiefs' game was faster than that. And when you have a game that is that fast, why change anything?
Well,
why do anything different?
Speaking of that, the Boffins were hard at work over the break, T-Gun, and I want to bring up this tweet because it's exactly relevant. Because Tarrant G. Owens has said, hashtag IMOPL, the quickest game in OS history was 17:49 between Hellions and Abyss. So that was your old squad. 70 minutes 49. It turns out you've been bested now, 17:35. How does it feel to be to lose the one that you were holding on to there, T-Gun?
Just as TM had one shining light in the darkness, that was my one shining light, and now I'm just all alone.
All right. Well, before we get into this game too, we also want to let you guys know about a fan art competition which we are currently running on the boards. You can enter via os.leagueoflegends.com, and its submissions are open until the 27th of April, so well until the end of the split. And you can illustrate your favorite scenes from the latest Demacia lore release, and winners will receive 4,000 RP and a spotlight article with their artwork featured in client on a wrenches 2,000 RP. So boards.os.leagueoflegends.com. Tegan, what would you do with 4,000 RP? I mean, you got everything unlocked, but on your Smurf account, what are you buying? What are you prioritizing?
More Blitz skins and Blitz chromas. That's all
What's
I
your
want.
favorite Blitz skin?
The Piltover Customs.
Yeah,
You
it's
get
good.
flames on your skin,
Yeah.
it makes you go faster.
Beep, beep. Yep. Mendrix, best skin for 4,000 RP?
Oh, I really like to get the good old, the legendary of Galio, the Gatekeeper. Oh, I love it after the rework. It looks fantastic.
All right, well, we've wrapped up all of our important opinions here at the desk. So to find out if Tainted Minds can claw it back to 1-1 in this series, let's throw it to your casters, Spawn and Fish.
Thank you very much, Mendrix and T-Gun. We're about to get into the second match between the Chiefs as well as Tainted Minds. And the first game was the quickest game in the OPL so far. The second game could be even quicker here, Spawn.
Well, that's a stretch. I honestly don't know if you can devolve a game that quickly again. I think that Tainted Minds actually will play a little bit more reserved. Like, you've seen the Chiefs early game. They obviously had a statement there. I think now you just pick safe lanes and you try and play a game out to 30-ish odd minutes, and they beat you fair and square, then they beat you fair and square.
We'll have to see if Tainted Minds decide to go for a similar draft. I mean, I think we can still expect comfort picks from Tainted Minds. I don't think we'll continue to see crazy picks from Tainted Minds.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's a difference between being comfortable, wearing a nice pair of jeans and a nice t-shirt going out, and, lounging about on your couch in your pants on a Sunday afternoon. And we got one of them last game. I'm hoping we get more of, this semi-casual form of Tainted Minds where they're comfortable, but they're not too comfortable.
We'll have to see what Tainted Minds decide to pick up later on. But the Chiefs, I mean, they've been very vocal about their boot camp.
For those that are wondering why Fish sounds like he's struggling while he's talking at the moment, he's pinning more flowers on his chest.
That's not true.
I am standing next to a
They
bouquet
grow.
of damn fake flowers right now, and I am confused and outraged as to why.
See, the flowers grow, Spawn, and they multiply. That's how life works. Just like the Chiefs, they grow, they multiply, and then they get rid of their special forces as the rest come back from boot camp. A little bit mean, if you ask me.
I'm sure they exist. They weren't terminated, but yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, Hingis is ready to boil fish in a kettle. I think
Yeah,
he could probably terminate the special forces.
Yeah, well, I would boil you in a kettle at the moment, mate, so
Wow.
we'll see.
That's rude. But the bands have come through for Tainted Minds and the Chiefs. Rumble, Rengar, and Camille. Banned out by Tainted Minds. The Chiefs have taken away Graves, Lulu, and Shannon. The first pick for Tainted Minds is going to be Karma.
Yeah, so a little bit more standard, I think, coming out for tilting. Obviously, this is a flex pick with Wizard, historically, but I expect this to be one of those picks that they just send down into the bottom lane, And Swips gives the fans a big thumbs up. Had a pretty good game on Camille last time around. Just flashing some of his pocket picks right now.
I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if he does lock this one in against Tainted Minds. I mean, it's the last game the Chiefs have.
Potentially.
Potentially. But instead, no, picks up Malzahar instead. So that should be heading into the bottom lane for Egypt. Yeah,
certainly should be. Expect a Q-Max Malzahar coming out of Egypt. Lucian would be a deadly lane to go with it, and it is going to be.
Yep, ERA's going to be picking up that champion. Denies Praetov's top lane Lucian as well.
I don't think that was a big factor into why Raze wanted to pick Lucian. I'm just going to throw it out there. I think he thinks the Bork build is just really strong at the moment, as do a lot of AD carries, and it's worth prioritizing. Only's a really good Kindred player.
Do it. Please lock it in, Only. We've seen bans of Kindred. I don't think we've seen it played. Oh, we have seen it played once, I believe. But no, he decides to go for Lee Sin instead. That gets locked in for Tainted Minds here.
Also a very solid Lee Sin player as well. I'd love to see Wizard really throw the gauntlet down and pick up a very snowbally ranged assassin in LeBlanc. We keep talking about it, but LeBlanc's playstyle did shift. She no longer goes for the crazy level 1, 2, and 3 all-ins. But as soon as she gets to that level 9 mark, she just does so much damage.
Ooh, we're going to get a return of the Tristana, this time paired up with a Karma in the bottom lane for Squidgy.
It has to be, because the thing is that Tristana isn't as bad as Squidgy made it look in Game 1. I mean, that's just a blatant truth. And Squidgy obviously is a big fan of the Yordle in the bottom lane. So this is just making it right, is all I'm going to say. I mean, let's leave it at that.
Well, the final pick in the first draft phase for the Chiefs is going to be Renix. And you can see Wizard and Swiffer hovering the Zed and LeBlanc quite a few times there against one another.
Yeah, I wonder if they ban it away or whether we do get the showdown of Zed into LeBlanc. I'm of the personal opinion right now that Zed wins the laning phase, but LeBlanc, with her incredible mobility late game, does become a little bit of a pest.
I, on the other hand, have no idea how mid lane works. It's just too fast for me. You mean AD carry or top lane tank only? That's all I care about. We are getting to the next few bans coming out from the Chiefs.
That's not true at all. I've seen you play Pantheon jungle.
Same thing. We're getting through the next few bans here from the Chiefs and Tainted Minds. Cannon is going to be the first ban coming out from the Chiefs. So they don't want Praetor to play that into Renekton. Does have a decent matchup against the Crocodile.
Has a pretty good matchup, and also with buffs to Blade of the Dawn King, Hurricane, Guinsoo's all being really annoying at the moment. You understand why Swiper doesn't want to run into that. Don't get me wrong, there are ways that Renekton can survive the lane. He never outright wins it, right? But he can definitely farm up and turn into a little bit of a nuisance. Renekton, if he just farms, really causes AD carries headaches, not through killing them, but through just zoning them. He's a body you have to hit in team fights. So I like the fact that they're giving him a little bit more lane priority. Renekton with a winning lane is definitely more powerful than Renekton with a losing lane.
They take away Echo as well. Wizard's signature pick. Praetor has been flexing it as well in the OPL. And we do have a jungle ban coming up from Tainted Minds. They don't want Spooks to pick up. His Elise again was a little bit of a pest running around on Summoner's Rift.
Is it going to be Ivan that they ban away? Because I'm looking at the jungles. Kha'Zix and Ivan are probably the two really noticeable champions left up, and it is.
So trying to pinch a Spooks jungle pool here.
I honestly think he plays Olaf or Gragas. I don't think he cares at all. If you check out his solo queue match history, he's been playing a lot of Olaf. He's been playing a lot of Gragas. In solo queue. Swiper also had a couple of Olaf games which were really weird. I think that was more of a heat check of, does this guy work in the top lane? Short answer, no. Olaf does not work in the top lane.
But it is going to be picked up for Spooks here, heading into the jungle.
He looks surprised. Yeah. All of a sudden he's like, you picked me what?
Well, he's going to have to make the most of it.
Hasn't changed to Ghost yet, however. It's something that we normally see Olaf's run. I also want to keep an eye on the build. Does he go for, Barmy Cinder into something like a Sightstone, which we used to see Olaf's do a lot in the past and just be a utility bot that runs around and spams Axis? Does he just go, we got it. Does he go something like a Righteous Glory for the speed up, or does he go Dead Man's Blade for a little bit more offensive flavor fishery?
We'll have to see what he decides to pick up. See Wizard on your screen there, quite happy he's got the LeBlanc. Now the question is, will Swiffer answer with the Zed? Tainted Minds though still looking for
Talon. Talon has a pretty good matchup into LeBlanc because as soon as she leaps into your melee range, you're able to really take it to her with a Q. That would be exciting. I would love to see Praetor pick up an outright carry in the top lane.
Seems like he's going to. He picks it up. Riven's been locked in for Tainted Minds. Praetor will take that one to the top lane.
Old school matchup. Renekton into Riven. I mean, you don't get much more of a snowbally lane. If you force Renekton off farm and get ahead, you really do take it to him. If he ever kills you, you just lose that lane. It is impossible to come back from.
You see the Chiefs there hovering for Twisted Fate and Talia, which you were talking about during the podcast, Spawn. But their lock-in is going to be Oriana, so no assassin on assassin match in the mid lane.
No, just standard control mage. You expect it out of Swiffer. He just wants to go in there, be able to control waves, not die. He's going to take over team fights. Gives them a little bit more initiation, which they lack. They have some good pick coming out of, you know, the Olaf being able to chain slow people and the Malzahar and things like that. But this is just outright initiation where that's such a squishy lineup, honestly, coming out of Tainted Minds. If a 3-item shockwave hits from Swiffer, they all die.
Yep. Swiffer's going to be running Exhaust heading into Wizard's Ignite. Bottom lane's both heading for Heal and Ignite.
An interesting thing to track is how he uses Exhaust. Because generally what you used to do is as LeBlanc was diving in, you would Exhaust. Now what you need to do is you need to be a little bit more patient and wait for the chain to nearly go off Exhaust so you don't get those big procs coming through from the passive. So it's no longer as she's all-inning, like just throw every spell you have at her. Now you have to be a little bit more finesse with the summoner spells, and interesting to see whether Swiffer is up to the task, because if there was a shining light, which, you know, it was like very dim, like it was like trying to flash in the background, it was going, it was going to be Wizard in that game.
Yeah, and we also see the Ghost coming out from Spooks as well on his Olaf. Another new pick into the OPL. We have seen a rise and fall in popularity of the last
people
few
like
splits.
Rainover and Xmithy love it over in the NALCS. Big pick over there. I also think it's good into things that have repetitive stuns like LeBlanc and like Riven, because as soon as you hit level 6, you can just run through all of that CC and dish out a lot of damage. I mean, it's underestimated how much damage repetitive max axes actually do, and it's why that we saw him as a terror in the top lane a lot. Longest lane in the game, you just mow people down.
Yep, and he's going in with a Renekton as well, another champion who does a tremendous amount of damage for the tanky stats that he gets naturally from his ultimate, as well as the items he eventually picks up. And we are on to the Rift for the second match of the day. Chiefs taking on Tainted Minds for game number 2 here. The first game was the fastest game we've had in the OPL so far. 17 minutes and 13 seconds. I mean, we already talked about how the Chiefs, they need to go for a statement game. They did that already. A statement series now. It's probably the next task. But Tainted Minds grouping up a little bit here, very early into the game, trying to catch the Chiefs by surprise.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they spotted any of the Chiefs players, but if they didn't, they are now in behind 3 of them. So that would be an outright 3v5 at the start of this game, especially if they can catch them unaware at a Raptor camp or something like that. But you can see the Chiefs actually just back away.
Ooh, but Tainted Minds are behind a couple of them. Swiper dancing around.
I mean, right now, Swiper's got clear vision of that choke. That's why he's standing where he is, so no one can get behind him. So if that is going to be what happens, then he just runs straight up or straight down. Doesn't really matter.
So he'll head back to lane shortly. Now I want to see if Only still starts on this Raptor camp. They know that Swiper's there. They can see him. And when he walked back, they could see him. Swiffer's waiting nearby as well. This could be an interesting level 1 play.
They know.
They know. So they spot it out, but they give it up. They just take the vision and run.
Yep. I mean, not much point doing anything else. And now all of a sudden you have the shove in the bottom lane. You have shove in mid lane if you want it. And Olaf has free access to the bottom side jungle because he knows exactly where Only was, and he's not going to run across the map.
You can already see Raze and Ejim just pushing out this lane as fast as they possibly can. So they'll be looking to try and win that level 2 war like they did in the first match. Probably don't have the kill potential that they had with Lulu as well as Ezreal. I could definitely get some decent harass down on towards Squidgy and Tilting.
And Olaf is one of those junglers that I expected to come back as soon as we saw any tempo junglers in the game. Because as far as Olaf is concerned, if you are risky in the jungle, I mean, you're willing to go down a little bit lower in health, you have confident jungle pathing, he jungles quicker than anyone in the game, Fish. He has repetitively axes that just have no cooldown, as Squidgy takes a truckload of damage early on.
Raze gets out of the empowered Q coming out from Karma as well, so avoids some of the damage for himself.
Potential dive in the top lane, though, because Only's going to be level 3 after he does these. And Swiper is still level 1 and has gone Blade.
He's been able to keep the minions off his turret though, which is the crucial thing for now.
Also playing very far up for Renekton in this matchup. Generally you want to have level 3 before you really do anything.
Ooh, that's a decent amount of
That's
damage
a
from Ejim.
lot of...
Disrespect to the Voidlings right there from Tilting.
Ejim actually ignited him, which is strange because generally you don't ignite unless you see a couple of potions rolling over onto the support that is early game. And now Ejim actually gets made pay for it a little bit.
Squidgy looking to try and go for the fight. Voidling's going to crash on towards Squidgy.
And this is what you expect out of Triss. Triss actually, as far as like 4 auto attacks into a spell, has one of the highest damage of any AD carries at the start of the game. Obviously, you need them to stand still and just take the auto attacks, whereas Lucian's going to be weaving in and out of the fight. But you don't expect Tristana to have the roughest laning phase until she gets first shop in, when she just becomes like really bad, which is why Bork helped her out a lot.
See it now,
Tilting.
tilting.
Fresh there.
Tilting and Squidgy desperately trying to defend here. Ejim really good to harass on this Malzahar, making sure there's absolutely no
Now
breathing room.
Swiper might actually go for the solo dive. Generally, when you ward behind the turret, that's what you want.
Decent damage from Swiper there. Only will spot out Spooks.
You do not want that fight.
Oh, he's going for it. They're trying to go for the one-on-one. Spooks actually ghosting away there.
Spooks hit his first axe and then just didn't go for the continued trade. Only doesn't have red buff available anymore, but he had it at the start of that fight. Generally, Olaf wins a one-on-one. That was like 95% of Only's damage already gone. He had auto attacks left after that.
Does head back, so successfully gets a summoner spell away from them. There's Squidgy and Tilting still taking quite a bit of damage here.
We're getting harassed quite hard, but you can see that the Chiefs have also been harassed themselves.
That's a really interesting play there by Swiper. Dashes in, gets a lot of damage down, stun halfway through Riven's combo,
Yeah.
and dashes out.
Because
So
the
avoids
important
all
part
crowd
is
control.
avoiding the knock-up. Because the crowd control as it starts rolling in is what really upsets you as a Renekton player. Interrupts all those crucial auto attacks. Only's in the bottom lane though.
Yeah, Squidgy gets the jump on top of Ejim. Good damage getting placed down. But Tilting is in a lot of trouble. Here come the Voidlings. Flash away from Raze as Only dives on in.
Yeah, really nice gank out of Only and good flash in response from Raze. And you can see this duo actually doing fine right now. They've burned summoner spells for absolutely nothing. Looks like Ejim wants to hang around, as does Raze, because they want to catch this wave. But they have pinged out the fact that Spooks is on his way down. See whether they just catch the wave?
Ooh, finds Squidgy. Jumps away. Going to be able to throw another axe here towards Tilting.
Threw that one too deep, actually.
Gets
If he threw that at Tilting as opposed to past Tilting, and it hit, he can nearly go for a kill. I mean, heal is still available, flashes are still available. But I feel like he threw that one a little bit deep. But something that Olaf players really need to watch is how deep you throw your axe. Definitely one of those, it's called undertow for a reason. Let's go with that.
But a much more stable game right now for Tainted Minds. No crazy first bloods being given up. But there is still stolen away by Only there.
Only's actually got a big advantage over Spooks right now.
34 to 19 in CS.
One of the things you will say about Olaf is once he gets rid of his first blue, he does slow down considerably. Swiper is starting to put the screws in on Praedyth, however, but Praedyth is still farming very nicely.
Swiffer getting locked down here by Wizard. Ultimate comes out, flashes in, and Only's here as well. First blood is picked up by the Tainted Minds jungler.
Yeah, really nicely done from Only. We said that he had a tempo advantage. We knew that Spooks was probably going to have to keep farming. As whoa!
Ooh. Swiper diving deep in, takes down Praedyth in the solo kill. One-on-one me, mate.
That's impressive. Cool. I mean, being able to take it to a Riven in laning phase is just huge out of Swiper. You can see that he actually got a shop in there without having to... going to be a gank coming into top lane Fishery.
Yeah. Only looking to see what he can do here.
Can kick him back into turret range is the important thing. So Swiper knows that, does the right thing, just gets the heck out of dodge. That's really nicely played.
Slice, dice into the explosive plant, gets him back over. He's going to be able to head back to this wave. Shove it out before Praedyth gets up towards the top side of the map.
But you'd be surprised how many of your natural... Not a
Squidgy. And Ray's going at it. That's going to explode. Squidgy gets a kill in the bottom lane. And suddenly Tainted Minds, they're even gone the 2-1 up in kills.
And would you look at that? All of a sudden, the Tristana looking a little bit better, has a legitimate support this time. Gets a really nice satchel explosion in there. You see how much damage it's able to do. And the Chiefs, they've been rocked in this early game. They're not going to be happy with this performance at all. They have good CS advantages in 2 out of 3 lanes. And, you know, even top lane is winning, but jungle severely behind. And solo kills, well, kind of kills in lane for both Wizards jungler as well as now the Tristana.
Chiefs have to be careful here. Ejim looking to try and cancel recalls.
Cancel one. Oh, cancels both.
Both. Silence comes out from Ejim there, stopping both of them. We'll delay their back timing slightly. He might even go for more. Oh, does. Squidgy says, all right, buddy, you want to go? Let's go. Flash forward from Tilting, looking to lock him down. The explosion comes out, but Egypt lives to tell the tale now. Tilting is in trouble. There's a swarm of Voidlings that were putting in some work just then. Raze casually kites forward, takes a few turret shots, doesn't get too much, and Chiefs fight back in the bottom lane.
Also got level 6 off that, so he's going to be able to hard shove this one, only looking for a gank into the bottom lane, however, because he knows that his blue buff is currently being stolen away. You can see that he wants around the back. You don't expect this gank fish. Whenever a support dies, you expect the AD carry to just recall.
Good culling from Raze, but Squidgy is able to dodge out most of the damage. There's the Sonic Wave. Resonate Strike comes through, locked down by Egypt's ultimate. Squidgy can't get forward. Dash over to a ward, a kick coming out from Only. Now looking for Raze, the jump, the satchel bomb, and Squidgy gonna be able to get the slam dunk for a kill on the bottom lane.
What a play out of Only. Meanwhile, top lane, however, Riven has fallen down and first turret's gonna go across. And this is what I said, this lane, incredibly volatile. If you let the Renekton get ahead, he's going to absolutely steamroll for majority of the game. In fact, Swiper, now probably after he bounces this wave, has enough for Black Cleaver. But really, the good news story for Tainted Minds is that they have a hyper carry in the bottom lane.
Oh! Look away, close your eyes.
How the heck did that happen?
It's a little bit nasty.
So Swiffer gets a solo kill. Let's have a look at the top lane gank. That's just an outright dive. And as I said, Riven really good, Olaf really good at ganking Riven because doesn't care about any of the CC. So you see they said that the Olaf in, Swiper holds turret aggro, so no hope of either of them really falling down and nothing that Praedyth can do. 2-level advantage now in the top lane. But the Chiefs potentially frustrated on the bottom side of the map, you'd have to say.
Yep. Here's the mid lane kill, I believe. Wizard taking Swiper one-on-one. Gets a chain.
Yeah, double chain goes in, and he actually distorts past, if you check this. He doesn't, he just walks it. Double chain went out, and he didn't go back to his original distort because that's where the ball was being held. So, nicely done out of Swiffer. Knew that there was no flash as soon as the distort portal ran away. He was completely fine to all in.
Very calm and collected play from Swiffer there in the mid lane. He's up by about 30 CS now.
Flash advantage right now for the Chiefs on their 80 carry only. Only is also the jungler of Tainted Minds, so ignore that one. However, no ultimate for Egypt right now means there is a small window of punish if they want to go for it.
There's a red buff from Squidgy as well, so he's posturing quite aggressively on Tristana here. Looking to threaten with the red buff pickup.
But as soon as they have that Nethergrass back up, you don't want to jump in, which does limit Trist's damage because one of Trist's best combo at this stage of the game is, you pop that rapid fire, you get really in their face, and then you're able to get the second jump reset, which does a lot of magic damage at this stage of the game. Definitely will not be available because Ejim, as soon as he does that, is just going to completely throttle him with all of those Voidlings.
But a lot of respect coming out from Raze and Ejim.
I actually really dislike when my supports do that in laning phase at the moment. Walk up an empowered Q on Karma. Especially if you're putting like 3 or 4 points in shield. It's just way more important in 2v2 skirmishes to have a shield available for both people than it is to get a slightly bigger chunk. You can consistently chunk, which is much more effective in my opinion. Everyone heading into the mid lane, they want the second turret of the game.
Ooh, shockwave whiffed by Swiffer here, but it doesn't matter. Ejim's going to be able to lock down. Wizard picks up a kill nice and easy, and Spooks is still diving onto Only. He says, come back here! Have an axe! We'll eventually die to the turret, but the Chiefs take down a turret for themselves and open up a nice 3,500 gold lead.
And I think it was Destiny that was talking about this, is part of your job is, Malzahar, is to get Moby Boots as soon as possible to get into mid lane and kill someone. Is now potentially Swiper caught out, although it's only going to be Tilting who cashes in some gold. So yeah, Ejim does the right thing, is very active around Summoner's Rift, gets Moby Boots, gets into the mid lane, ults him up, and now they're looking for everyone to go bottom. In fact, they're just going to show and proxy the wave to guarantee that they're able to expand this gold lead. And that's why kills aren't everything in League of Legends. Even though the Chiefs have reclaimed that lead, this all started when Swiper was able to pick up a kill over Praedyth and then get that turret early, because now he's unlocked, he can roam around Summoner's Rift, as we were saying on the desk. Not the highest CS per minute, but is willing to do the team thing.
Chiefs are going to head back to base as well. They picked up a comfortable 4,000 gold lead. Black Cleaver's already complete by Swiper, now going towards his Tiamat route. Bork being picked up by both 80 carries, so Squidgy's still in a very comfortable spot here. You'd have to think Raze is ahead in gold though, thanks to all the turrets being taken down. He does have a slight lead on top of that in CS. first item coming out from Spooks. Going to be Righteous Glory on this Olaf. He just wants to run quick.
And that's what I said. It's always interesting to track Olaf's item build because that's just a lot of utility. They've recognized the fact that they don't have the best initiation unless Spooks outright is able to run someone down. So they go with that. Now we're just trading halves of the map. Squidgy, the last remaining bastion, really is being collapsed on by 3 members, while there's 4 heading top lane for Swiper.
Oh, Swiper's going to pop the ultimate. He says, all right, you guys want a tango? I can do it. Tries to take the ball down for himself. Kicked out. Gets rage, but it's not going to be enough. Even Tilting is forced up there to take him down. 4 members, and even then it looked like a struggle at best.
That was so close of Wizard actually dying. As we mentioned, he's got level 2 ultimate at this stage of the game. And can they actually get anything for it? Because Swiper did the right thing. He dashed into the wave, cleared a wave out, and all of a sudden the Chiefs are knocking on turrets in both mid and bottom, whilst the rest of the map is not anywhere close.
Nethergrass over the wall coming out on top of Squidgy. Swiffer, pull the trigger, buddy. Your support's going in. There you go. Take down Tilting at least. Can't quite get it. A little bit of a noob there, but still going to force the flash out of the support.
Yeah, 14 minutes in. They're up 5,000 gold. Definitely not as comprehensive as Game 1, but things that the Chiefs, after a little bit of a sloppy start, have ramped back up.
Clear loss, in my opinion, here for the Chiefs.
You have strange opinions, my friend.
They're going to look to try and secure even more objectives. As Dragon's the next one for the Chiefs.
You can see that what they're doing right now, another little cool thing that you can learn, especially if you're a jungler. Malzahar likes to get as many Voidlings out as possible because it really amplifies his damage. If you take up the dragon, your Voidlings don't die and you can get out a lot. So junglers out there, definitely do that. Swiper again.
Getting collapsed on again, avoids the... Wow, avoids 2 major spells. And Squidgy jumps in. That's a mistake! Straight on top of a Renekton? That is just silly. You don't do that.
It's bold or idiotic. One of 2 things there, Fish. And now Wizard's being cornered here.
Yeah, getting chased down, Tilting. It's actually going to be one that gets locked down. And Spook says, come at me, buddy! I'm here! Takes up a kill for himself, and poor Tilting had nowhere to go.
I mean, Usain Bolt of Summoner's Rift. Spooks is just going top speed right now. That was Ghost Ultimate as well as the Glory. All popped at the same time. Not much hope of being able to outrun that weird Viking. And now they're going to push it on mid lane. You can see that Swiper still hanging out in some brushes, looking for a cheeky kill. Has found only.
He's going to dice on top of the
Kicks
jungler.
him back into the table. Team, sorry.
Oh no, Renekton. He's going to take it down really low here. Ultimate will come out from Swiffer. Upgraded on less than 100 health there, but the shields will keep him alive. Swiffer gets taken down. It's a double for Tainted Minds.
Squidgy has another jump if he wants it. So Swiper getting a little bit too cute at the moment.
Do they go for more? Squidgy trying to chase down Ejim. No Blade of the Ring King available.
There's another
jump. Pop. Jump. Goes out. Gonna get it. No, Nethergrass keeps it underneath the turret, but the knockback's not gonna be enough damage.
Yeah, but that was actually a really good ultimate. If there was one auto attack just before it in the middle of the jump, he probably would have picked up the kill. Problem is there was always a chance he was gonna die, so reads the play well there to Squidgy. And you'd have to say that the Chiefs, 8 to 9 in kills, only 5,000 gold. This game looked like it was gonna open up. They probably had a free turret mid if they just went for it. Instead, they try and make a cute play, and TM do the right thing. They punish him.
Squidgy's in a bit of trouble here. There's a chase coming out from this Olaf. Suddenly they do have Wizard who's joining in on the fight. Spooks will get locked down, taken down by Tilting, but Raze, he's dashing on in. It's 3-on-1, he's flashed away. Swiper suddenly teleported to the back lines. Flash stun, doesn't matter, only picks up the kill. And Swiper is being chased down by the rest. Chains from Wizard, lock him down, dashes over the wall, gets back to safety. And Squidgy will fall to Ejim in the meantime.
But still 2 for 2, and when you're trading evenly as the Chiefs, when it's 17 minutes in and you've got a 5,000 gold lead, you've got to reevaluate the way that you're playing the game, Fish. Because really, Game 1 they showed that they could absolutely monster TM, and this game they're really playing their style, you would have to say. So we check in with the items. Lichbane's picked up by Wizard. We've seen it a little bit more, being able to weave in auto attacks. Definitely important right now on the LeBlanc builds. Everywhere else, the Chiefs, I mean, they look like they're still items ahead, but the game's just going crazy.
Still, small goal lead for the Chiefs though, so Tainted Minds are still on the back foot despite their proactive play, but it's 10 to 11 in kills.
I mean, 5,000 gold at 18 minutes is a huge gold lead. I mean, when you think about traditional League of Legends, that's a big gold lead at 20, 30 minutes into the game. The Chiefs have been sitting on it from about minute 13. It's just the problem is that they're taking these kinds of fights. This is an outright 2v3 Swiper is running from like a ward that is so deep away.
Ah, cut away from that because Tainted Minds have picked up 2 more kills. The bottom lane duo of the Chiefs, they've been taken down. That's a big pickup. Slowly, this gold lead is shrinking. That's now only 4,000 in the Chiefs' favor.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, we'll see what the Chiefs can get off the back end of it. It looks like Swiffer is working on mid lane turret. Is able to pick it up.
Chain from Wizard. Gonna lock him down, avoids the ball.
Second
2 chains, 3 chains, more chains. Oh, it's not gonna happen. Oh, yes it is. There's another one from Tilty. Will he get the kill? Will Swiffer live? Don't have to find out next time in Dragon Ball Z because he does right there. Picks up a double kill for himself.
So in the end, it's a 2v2 trade, and the Chiefs are able to pick up a turret, and that's much more composed play. I mean, you saw that able to get the solo kill there onto Wizard. Swiper has his back, collapses for a nice clean 2v2. And at the same time, they were focusing on objectives. That's what the Chiefs definitely need to do a little bit more of this game. 20 minutes in. Looks like Squidgy and Only one more time want Raze and Ejim.
Oh, yeah, jumping on forward. Only gets the jump on Raze. Squidgy knocks him back. Raze just get a good chunk out of Squidgy, and suddenly the rest of Chiefs looking trying to collapse. Spooks charging on forward. Top speed again. Mark 1 initiated as Only is running the absolute wrong way. Ward jump towards safety. Gets hit by an undertow as well as a swarm of Boilings that just pick up a kill for Ejim.
That's much better axe tossing out of Spooks. Did you see the way that the first one was short but burnt the cooldown? He's able to run onto it naturally, and then the next 2 are just frame perfect on top of the champion. That's what we're talking about. Never overthrow your axes. Make sure that you can chain the slows together. And you can see that that damage alone, even though he's pure tank at this stage of the game, is enough to chunk out Only. So, like, better play out of the jungler of the Chiefs, and you have to say that they're going for very cute but cheesy picks right now, Tainted Minds, which, as they're overextending further and further into enemy territories, are starting to come back and bite them. Although Raze is very frustrated from the looks of his player cam.
He's picked up a Black Cleaver here after his Blade of the Ruined King.
Gonna go Tabby as well. And, wow, Wizard is going Gunblade.
Huh. He's got a longsword. That's right. Gunblade going to be picked up by this LeBlanc later on, but Swiper, he's got
trouble.
dice. Going for Praetor. Praetor flashes away. Only kicks him in. The alley-oop for Praetor picks up the kill. The ultimate still.
However, 3 members bottom lane means that Baron is going to be the objective.
They're looking to start it. Only the support here. You're not going to be able to defend the Baron buff against the Chiefs. Smiting away. Spooks will take that one down. So they trade a kill onto Swiper for Baron buff. Huge loss for Tainted Minds. They're going to try and take some turrets while they're at it.
And they do rip through turrets, I mean, relatively quickly. Tristana very good at taking down turrets, as well as anyone that is a Lich Bane user and spammable spells. So they do manage to pick that one up. Potentially an Ocean Drake also on the table, although they have to be careful because only 9 seconds until Swiper is back available, and he has teleport, as well as a couple of deep wards.
This is cheeky. Tainted Minds, they've cleared the wards in this area. Ejim, his dad said don't face check. That's the right thing right there, coming up with the support. Doesn't do just that. Gets a return kill on towards Wizard. Tilty now being chased down by an angry Olaf. And more members of Tainted Minds about to fall. Kick back from Only. He's just trying to run away. There's no Raptors there for you, buddy. No chicken today. And Will Be Race picks up another kill. 4 kills on towards Tainted Minds with Baron buff. They're just going to push for the base.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to push in here, especially given the fact that all the work has already been done for the Chiefs in the mid lane. You can see Praetor didn't even get to that fight on time. He's too busy split pushing top lane. That's going to be first inhibitor of the game picked up. Swipe is going to get back to look to deal with a cheeky Riven. And, oof.
It's an interesting game, Spawn. I mean, 22 minutes in, Chiefs are well and truly ahead. Tainted Minds look like they've been fighting back at different points in the match and having some good proactive plays. But I can still hear the circus music in the background somewhere in this match.
I think that's definitely fair to say. This is a very cheeky game, as opposed to a clown game, I think you would call it. They're just going for, you know, very risky plays. So this is it again. Ejim gets popped out of the bush. Of course, he has a spell shield, so not in that much damage. Turns around, and once again, just perfect axes. Look at this one. Nice and short, runs onto it. Very short axe again, hits. So Spook's doing a good job there. From there, it's just all about catching Only. He tries to make the Q play over the Raptor wall, but obviously he can't. And another really nice axe out of Spook. So just following the Olaf play. Oh, Wizard, you're in some trouble.
It's down Wizard. Blast Cone.
Goodbye.
A mistake, you'd have to say?
Yep, definitely.
Sometimes it happens. destroys his own blast cone and then dash back in. Big shockwave from Swiffer. Tainted Mind's going to have to try and run away. Praetive wants to fight. Raze dashes further into the base. Gives a good old crocodile double kill. Spooks is throwing axes into the fountain. Only kicks him a millimeter away and is just saying, I can fight you. I've got a fountain behind me. Guardian Angel still available for Spooks. He doesn't care. The Chiefs get 3 kills. A turret. They're looking for a Nexus here as well. As the final 2 turrets left standing, only Tilting and only left up to try and defend this one. First turret falls, Tilting gets stunned up and chased down. Another kill for the Chiefs. Wizard comes back up, couldn't even finish his gunblade. That's how fast this game was. 24 minutes in, Chiefs still looking for kills. Nexus is gonna fall to minions. And they pick up a very convincing 2-0 here against Tainted Minds.
I mean, 17 minutes, 23 minutes, both very quick games for the Chiefs. I think that there are some things in there that they're just outright not going to be happy with. I mean, when a team just dives on you over and over again, you should be able to withstand a little bit more. But, you know, they pick up a very quick and comprehensive 2-0. That's what they wanted to come in and do, make a couple of statement games, mission accomplished.
And might not be the best team to compare it for, but the Chiefs did have a really good early game in both those games against Tainted Minds.
Yeah, they certainly did, especially given the fact that in game number 1, they're able to get duo kills in the bottom lane. Game number 2, Swipe is able to pop off into a Riven, which is hard to do. I mean, Riven's one of those champions, if you ever overstep against her, she punishes incredibly hard. So I agree. I mean, that's some promising signs. It's been a long time since we saw standard lane kills from the Chiefs.
Certainly has, and I believe with that, Chiefs have locked in the spot of either third, potentially
second or third, yeah.
Potentially
depending
second.
on what Legacy are able to do versus Abyss tomorrow, I believe.
So we'll have to see how that one takes up. But Chiefs will be heading into the gauntlet at least at 3rd place, and they have looked good since they come back from America. They've been able to raise their koalas, and for now, let's toss this one back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, guys. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the OPL. If you're just joining us, Chiefs 2-0 over Tainted Minds, and this bloody koala that Fisher's tossed back to me. If you're watching at home, it's pandemonium today.
That's an OH&S issue.
Really
I've
is.
been hit.
I apologize. Well, let's take a look at these guys taking the handshakes there, and I mean that was a marathon game at 23 minutes compared to the first game. T-Gun.
Yeah, it's almost, what, 1/3 longer? Something like that?
Exactly,
Something insane.
I guess, like, kind of my opening thought to this, Mendrix, T-Gun, is that if we hadn't seen that first game, we just saw that second game. That second game did not go well at all. Yeah. Right? And so we're going to probably try and say, look, Tainted Minds showing signs of life, et cetera, but that's only in the context of that first game where it was a 17-minute 30 game or whatever, you know?
I mean, it was a better game. Like, if you took it in a vacuum, it still wasn't that great. But what do you expect when you're playing, you know, arguably the best team? They're at very least top 3. You just have to take the small victories. Their bot lane performed leagues ahead of what they did the first game. Yeah. They just have to work on that and take it as a learning experience.
Well, Mendrix, let me ask you about this draft then. So do you think their improvements have anything to do with the draft? Because these are much more standard picks from TM.
No, I feel like this was more along the lines of them saying, okay, you know, let's just try to play a little bit more reserved. You can see it was a bit more controlled in what they were doing. And actually what I like about their play across the board is it was cheeky. I mean, they even went for a cheeky level 1 engage. They tried to see if they could get these small advantages wherever they could. There was, again, like you said, some signs of life in comparison to the first game. But at the end of the day, they were actually able to get it in there, get some kills, and to actually have a bit more of a competitive match.
So we see TM there sticking with their Tristana pick from the first. I'm not going to throw this at you, don't worry. I'm just moving it off the desk because I feel like it's distracting. The TM sticking with that Tristana pick, and I mean, how do you feel the difference was in terms of the Tristana play, T-Gun, game 2 to game 1?
I think it was in the support pick. There's a lot different you do with Karma than you do with Sona.
Yeah. Classic support player thinking that support is the important role, but go on.
What can I say? It really is. There's a reason people say you can't win as ADC in solo queue. They don't say you can't win as support. Karma is much less gankable. Karma does more consistent damage, especially the one thing I will criticize Chiefs on is why pick Mal's into Karma. It's traditionally not that good, especially after the W changes with the minion spawning a little bit delayed.
Right.
So why pick it? You can play so many more things. He's got such a huge champ pool. I understand why they banned out the Lulu. It's a strong pick. You don't need to keep that pick in the game. Might as well remove it. But why pick Mal's into Karma when he can play different things that have a better laning phase?
So what are these champions? Let's name some names. Like, what would you rather have seen instead of Malzahar into Karma?
Keep in mind, a lot of these are dependent on the actual team comp because, as far as I'm concerned, for support it goes Lulu, Karma, literally everything else.
Right, okay.
But he could go something like Nami if they want to play more defensive. It also helps augment his ADC, and especially when you're playing something like Lucian, you could even go back to Lucian Braum. It's a little bit of a weird matchup, but I really just don't like Malzahar into it. I understand they want it because, hey, we can make really cool catches, we can do heaps of damage if we get to that point.
Get those Voilings to tank the dragon.
But you're banking on you being significantly better than your lane opponents, and while they are, it's a little bit of an arrogant thing to do.
Ooh.
I think it comes down to something about team composition. I mean, if you look at it there, they decided to go for a more aggressive support. And when that happens, it means Ivan becomes a lot more available to you as an option. We were actually discussing about how you can, if you do manage to pick up the Ivan, he's actually better when you do match it with an aggressive support. At the very end there, it was banned out, which does suggest that it could have been possibly a pivot in terms of the jungler they are coming through, getting up, actually picking up the Olaf instead. So really, it might be something they wanted a specific team composition, and that's why they wanted the Malzahar there.
All right, well, let's move on from team comp into the actual game. And in this game, I feel like Tainted Minds, like we said, in the first game, they were showing sort of signs of proactive play that didn't really work out for them, but this time they had a little bit more success metrics.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. And it is them sort of making moves for all those team fights that they're able to do. They were trying to be a bit more proactive with their ganks, with everything they can. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is the Chiefs here actually getting the win off the back of it. And it is a bit of a scrappy fight. And it sort of forces the Chiefs back into these team fights as they happen. And this is what we wanted to see from them in the first game. If they were able to do this, become a bit more competitive, get the picks that they needed every single time, they would have actually had a better showing, especially if they managed to take it to a bit later into the game. Perhaps, you know, if Chiefs take this really far out, they're the ones with the advantage because they have a bit more of a scaling composition. But they sort of were allowed to be at a point where, you know what, we can get to 30 minutes and maybe win the game from there.
The thing I'd really like to take away from that whole scrappy fiasco of a team fight there, if you even want to call it a team fight, because it was just a bunch of 1v1s happening all on the same screen, was how cool the things TM were doing. They were doing really nice little mechanical moves. They were doing ward hop cues to dodge and juke around people. And, you know, you look at those things all individually and you think, well, that's not really impressive. I could do that. But each person doing their own impressive little mechanical feat, while it didn't close the gap that they needed to do, is something that they can look back on and be proud of in this series, because at the end of the day, they need to look back on it, they need to learn from it, but they also need to take away some good things so they don't feel too bad about the series.
And Tegan, you got to, just on that point, I mean, a lot of these guys are debuting in the OPL, they're very new, especially like for this year and even later in the season. So you got to think like these guys are showing mechanical skills that might mean other teams might want to, you know, pick them up or something, or maybe they've got like, you know, plans for growth. But it's important you're saying these mechanical plays are something they can look on to.
Yeah, it's also something that you can look back and say they didn't lose because they were nervous. They didn't lose because they were worried about something. They didn't lose because they weren't taking chances, right? They lost because at the end of the day, the Chiefs were the better team.
Sure.
I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. I don't think anyone would have disputed that coming into the series. At least they can look back on it and say, we played our game, we tried our best, we didn't hold anything back, because that's a common issue coming into a competitive scene, is people will practice one thing and perform another thing.
All right, well, from the better team to potentially the better players, let's take a look at our Radiant Medal winners for today, and it's going to go to Bryce Ejim Paul, Canberra Zone, the ACT's beautiful boy himself. With only 7 votes out of 24. So that first game, though, 19 assists. Oh, it's being shared with Swiper, who's popped off. So even when Ejim finally gets his name on that board, he's got to share it with his top laner there, who Swiper's had a massive game. And it's that thing we were talking about earlier, Tiga, which is that Swiper himself doesn't necessarily get involved with the kill participation, etc., but he's there doing stuff that allows the team to do other things. As an example, you were saying when Chiefs take that Baron in game 2, Swiper is down and he dies, but he's pushing bottom because they think they're going to engage them on that Baron fight.
Yeah, Chiefs, when they make decisions, make a lot of decisions based on the other team doing the optimal thing. And the optimal thing for TM is to try and contest the Baron.
Yeah.
So Swiper decides, right, if they're going to contest Baron, I need to put out a lot of pressure. And TM make the wrong decision, go kill him. But if he dies, who cares? You get Baron for practically free there, and you're able to snowball that into a win in the next, 4 or 5 minutes. So while it looks bad on his stats, what he's doing is still the correct play.
And it wasn't just happening in the late game as well. It was actually happening in the early game. It was actually a point in time where I think TM actually sent 3 members twice towards
I think it was
Swiper.
4 in the top lane when they blew 4 ultimates to kill him.
Yeah, like just using so many resources. You think they're, oh, Swiper dies because he's been caught out here. Well, no, actually, if you looked around the map while it's happening, they're getting chip damage on other towers, and then off the back of that, they are getting the towers down. So a lot happening just off the back of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but we do have to move along. I know you guys just want to spend a lot of time praising Swiper, but we are actually lucky enough to be joined by the guy who shared that medal with him with Spawn right now. So let's toss it to Ejim and Spawn for the interview.
Exactly right. Who gives a damn about Swiper? My man that I gave 3 points to, Ejim standing next to me. Comprehensive victory there, Bryce, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, it was a 2-0, but the second game was a bit rubbish. But, like, I mean, it's all right. We won at the end of the day. I think it's a bit bollocks that I got robbed of my MVP by big swips, but whatever.
It happens. Talk to me about the Malzahar pick, because the desk was talking about it a lot.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I want to roast the Goon for this one. So, obviously, like, his tier list is pretty correct. Like, Karma Lulu, very good champions. But as you see, the correct thing into Malzahar is, like, not picking the champions like the Riven, the LeBlanc, because he's just so suffocating in the draft. So we picked Malz early, and then they did, in my eyes, the incorrect thing. Picked Riven anyway, picked Lee Sin anyway. If he tries to insec, I ulti. They picked the LeBlanc. If she dashes in, I ulti. So, like, it might not win the lane as hard, but it is an aggressive pick outside of the lane, and then it was very good in our team comp.
All right, cool. So talk to me about the team comp as a whole then, because I said that there might be some issues with outright initiation if it goes into the late game.
Floppy.
Is this something that you guys are well prepared in playing against, like having teams push in on you? Is it because you do pressure objectives more? What is it about this comp that you guys like?
Honestly, I don't like the comp too much. I think we did mess up. We kind of pigeonholed ourselves into an O-Life pick. So, I mean, I'll just be honest. And then, so we did rely on the Malzahar, I guess, but we were just winning all over the map. And as the Goon was talking about on the desk, they just kept making the wrong decision in regards to, like, going to kill Swiper in a side lane. Like, we just got a free Baron. We dove and, like, took the inner turret bot when they sent 4 people and blew 4 ultis on Brandon top. So, like, yeah.
It is what it is. All right, cool. Now talk to me about the playoff gauntlet, because you guys, suspension for 2 weeks, go over to North America, start boot camping, obviously come back for a good game 1, maybe a sloppy game 2.
Yeah.
But what are you guys looking forward now? Because ultimately you're going to be probably locked into 3rd place. I don't think many people are going to dispute that fact. Is it just about cleaning up your play heading into that? Is it Legacy or Direwolves that you guys are really looking at?
Yeah, like, if you're not first, I don't really care where we place, sorry. Still got to, like, beat everyone to win. But yeah, I think we'll be playing Sin or AV. I think we play the winner. And then we'll be going on to, like, further up the bracket. And yeah, we're just looking to ourselves. I think our ceiling, we believe, is higher than everyone else's. So if we fix ourselves, if we play to our game, then we're going to win.
All right, cool. And Legacy, Direwolves, who's stronger at the moment? Give me the lowdown.
Direwolves.
Direwolves are stronger. Well, you've heard it here from the man himself, Bryce. Thank you so much for the interview.
And I'm a Legacy fanboy. So
yeah, you are. Legacy support. That's a little bit sore, but that's only the first best of 3 of the night. Don't go anywhere. When we get back from the break, Sin are going to take out of Guard.
Ultimate comes out, flashes in, and Only's here as well. First blood is picked up by the Tainted jungler. Yep. Squidgy can't get forward. Dash over to a ward, a kick coming out from Only. Now looking for Raze, the jump, the satchel bomb, and Squidgy gonna be able to get the slam dunk for a kill on the bottom lane. Satchel B1 gets locked down, and Spook says, "Come at me, buddy! I'm here!" Picks up a kill for himself, and poor Tilting had nowhere to go. Hey, Spooks will get locked down, taken down by Tilting, but Raze, he's dashing on in. It's 3-on-1, he's flashed away. Swiper suddenly teleported to the back lines. Flash stun, doesn't matter, Only picks up the kill. And Swiper is being chased down by the rest. Chains, gonna lock him down, avoids the ball. 2 chains, 3 chains, more chains. Oh, it's not gonna happen. Oh, yes it is. There's another one from Tilting. Will he get the kill? Will Swipper live? Don't have to find out next time in Dragon Ball Z, because he does right there. Picks up a double kill for himself. Or doesn't do just that. Gets a return kill on towards Wizard. Tilting now being chased down by an angry Olaf. And more members of Tainted about to fall. Kick back from Only. He's just trying to run away. There's no Raptors there for you, buddy. No chicken today. And then dash back in. Big shockwave from Swiffer. Tainted gonna have to try and run away. Praetive wants to fight. Raze dashes further into the base. Gives the good old Crocodile a double kill. 24 minutes in, Chiefs still looking for kills. Nexus is going to fall to minions. They pick up a very convincing 2-0 here against Tainted.
Feels good to stretch my way. Bring it. Pick on someone my size. This way.
I told you this was a bad deal, man!
Shut up and move!
Which way?
Over here!